What's up, what's up, what's up? Alright, let's turn this music down. How is it going, everybody? I am finally ready. Got charts all set up. Now just putting together a watch list for us to go through. Alright, so let's look at a few stocks here. Let's add TRMB. BABA looks it's only up 1%. MCR doesn't look good. VMC. Why are they showing no pre-market movement for me? Are they gapping up straight out of the open, or is there nothing going on? All right, what else do we have going on? We have an NDM. That looks good. VRTX. Nothing going on there. CRSR. Choppy, I don't like it. FLDM. Choppy as well. Oof. This penny stock is up big. We'll give that one a watch because we'll take this off. Nothing going on. Apple up a little bit, pulling back. SPY is moving up right out of the gates. This one's scaling is all messed up because it's up so high. But over 1350 is not too bad. Let's do another scan really quick. What else are you watching, Chris? Oh, I don't have a scan set in place on this account yet. So let's create one. Net change. We want 4%. No, this is net. We want percent change. Not yield. Percent change 4. Volume today, Monday, let's go 700,000. And then we have, we want price. We can use the last. Minimum, let's do $10. Maximum, we don't need a maximum right now. Ooh, Nikola is moving. NKLA, let's check this out. NKLA, there's a good move. It is up 5%. Add that to the watch list. We have OSUR. I'm actually going to pause music today if you don't mind. We can turn it on later. But just in case I get a good trade that I want to use for the YouTube video, I don't want copyrighted music or music that I can't control. I'd like to edit it out. Okay, I don't like this chop, but over 17. Over 17, we have 1730. I just don't like the setup leading up to it. The candles leading up to that. Let me save this scan query. Gap up, save. It's not loading in now. Typical thinkorswim. 5 minute looks decent. We have this pullback. SMSC, that was the other one, right? SMMC. SMMC. Ugh. Terrible low volume stocks. Let's head back over to gap down. Here we go. Is there nothing in the gap down range? 𝗬𝗵𝗂𝗋. We have 𝗬𝗂𝗧, which is forming a slightly better pattern here. We can take it over 2150, stop under 21. I actually might do this. Why is 𝗬𝗂𝗧 up today? Because it's been having negative news for quite a while. Okay, that doesn't tell me. Doesn't look like there's any real news out causing this move, which I might like even more, but I don't know, the price action just doesn't appeal to me, because it's just recovering from this move last Friday. You could see down here, and so it's going to spike up, probably test 23, which you could get a good trade out of it, but who knows what it's going to do before then. Like you can see right now, I was going to get in over 2150, stop at 21. You took snap long. What's going on in snap? Okay, decent move up, 3.8%. Good move out of the gates. Let's check the daily. Daily's at all-time high. I like that because it's steadily at all-time high. It's not just gapping up to an all-time high level like we saw a lot last week. So we see this nice break of previous all-time high at 2679-ish, which acted as support, and then we're moving up. This would have been a great swing trade, long over 28. But today, I don't know why this one is up today specifically. Oh, I know why the news wasn't giving me stock-related news. It wasn't linked. Okay, now that it's linked, what is going on with Snapchat? Price target was increased to 32 from 30. LB has joined as well, and GBTC. Okay. Let's check out this LB. This is interesting. Look at this range between 34.50 and 35. It's a very strict range. 34.50 is a very steady number. Long 28.75 in snap. Let me check that out in a second. Okay, so LB is at all-time high. It's spiking up, which we don't like as much because it usually wants to recover its gap, but it's spiking up over this whole number of 34 that I had as resistance on Friday. So we either see it return to 34 or continue up in a pretty nice way. So, yeah, spread on that option isn't great. I'll add it. I'll keep watching. Looks like we got a penny over it 2 minutes ago. Not as clean anymore. Let's go through these. 𝗬𝗂𝗧, what are you doing now? Yeah, big red move down, as we were kind of expecting. Let's go ahead and take one call. We'll take 136 call. And we're gonna let sit. This is a very tentative trade. I'm not super excited about it. I'd probably give this one a B, but because the stop level is so strong at the 34.50, I feel kind of safe taking it. I'm okay getting stopped out in this one. Let's see what kind of adjustments we're looking at. $11.50 on a change of, okay, it looks like the option price has actually changed significantly down to 52 cents, just based on previously traded. So I could have, instead of doing a market order at 62 or a limit order at the ask, I could have probably gotten a slightly better price for that, but I'm not in the mood to argue over options prices. I just want to get in and out of trades. Let's redo our scan for 1 million. 1 million shares traded. SPWR. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I want to add something over here on the left side of the screen really quick. Let's bring our LB trade up in the meantime. I want to add another watch list. And this one is going to be account positions. And can I move this one above the other? No, so let's switch these. We're going to make this one account positions, current account positions. We're going to make this one morning watch list. Personal morning watch list. There we go. Okay. I wonder if I'm going to set a rule. So the current rule I'm going to go over in the YouTube video this week of the small account challenge is to only take one option contract per stock. So only one contract per trade. That's to avoid the issues of having to go and calculate the different risk at different prices of options, and going through all of that could potentially miss a trade. So instead, I'm just going to do one contract per stock, per ticker. And that doesn't allow me to double down or average down or do any sort of entry management, where in like a case like right now, I'd probably want to add one more if it breaks over this previous high, because it's still trending up. So I still like it. So I'd be adding one more right now. I'm not going to do it. I need to think over this as a rule for what I want to teach to people, but that would allow me a little bit more freedom. That would also allow me to scale out if I do a maximum of 2 instead of a maximum of 1. But here you can see !SAC small account challenge. You can see the rules for the small account challenge as well as the starting account size. Looks like NNDM has fully recovered its gap. Or was this always a gap down? No, this was a gap up. It is now a gap down of 4%. That's interesting. So we get the reciprocal play in this one. Big volume spike. RESI is finally making somewhat of a move after its big spike up. Just not the move that I want to day trade on that high of a percentage. Ally, and then of course we have LB still moving up. So we are up. We're actually down $8 on this one because of the bad entry. We got in at 64. There's just low volatility right now, low volume. So the ask price has gone down to 61 actually, but you could see the spread has tightened quite a bit. The bid was down at 32 cents with the ask at 34, or sorry, excuse me, 60, 25.31. We are up $1.50. The ask though, last trade price was 74 cents, but the market has dropped down. So it looks like we can get some decent profits, maybe a at least 1% profit, 2% profit on this trade, which is great. The market averages 7 to 10% a year if you invest in the S&P 500. So getting 1 or 2% in one day is pretty awesome. Now on a small account, we are going to want bigger wins than that. We could take bigger risks as well. All right, let's head back to the scans. Target was 29. Yeah, so you should be out. Did you get out? If your target was 29, it hit 28.99, which should have been your exit order for 1 penny before your target. So went to my target, closed to 1 cent. You're still in. That's wrong. You should have been out. It hit your target. It tested that resistance level. It's probably going to test it again and break. The next time it tests it, it probably will break. So keep that in mind if you are still in. It will most likely break this 29 level if it tests it again. But you should be out unless you had your order in at 28.99 and it didn't get filled. But if you had your order in at 29, that's wrong. You should have it in 1 or 2 cents before the resistance level because this happens. And this counts as a test of that 29 level. You were right that it would see resistance at 29 and that you would want to get out before it meets that resistance. But you should have been out. You should be out on this test. Although we're seeing a good move up. So again, all right. Not much going on in the market today. That's okay. Nice slow day. I don't know if I'd rather start a small account challenge on a slow day or a big day. Honestly, probably a big day, because a slow day leads to being eager to take a trade, and especially when you're just like, I took that trade, it was a B trade in terms of quality, not an A, not an A+, nothing like that. Solely out of the fact that I wanted to take one trade at least on the first day of the small account challenge, just to test out the account, make sure everything's right. Change this to 2 million. Scan off of that. Go, GameStop, 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗀. Go, not anymore. GameStop slightly curling up. 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗀, as we know, is continuing down. And I suspect so is the S&P. Yep. It's going to test Friday's close here in a couple cents. All right, let's see what your snap is doing. A little bit of a pullback. Might get in this one actually over this cup and handle. You can see here's the cup, here's the handle. Decent deceleration, reversal over 2880. That's our level. My order was in, didn't get filled because target was 29. Yeah, if your target is 29, your order should be 1 cent before that, because this always happens. I'm going to get in one call of snap here. Not enough buying power for a call. That's not true. I have plenty of buying power. Oh, for 10. I know I don't have enough for 10. Glad that didn't go through. That would have broken my rules. So this is a trade based on feeling, based on volume, based on this cup and handle. I wanted to get in over this break. So let me draw in. Why does that chart always get bigger when I get into a trade? Okay, let's draw in this trade that I'm taking. So we are getting in over the crest of this cup and handle, over the handle. Our stop is under the handle. And then our target is going to be, I expect this to break through 29, so that's why I was willing to get into this. Target will be 29.20, because usually a break of whole number in this stock results in a move to the 20 cent mark of the next whole number, towards the next whole number. So 29.20. And then I'll add in my levels. Let me change actually this level to gold, so you can see my entry, stop, target. I'm going to keep these red just because I was thinking of changing this to green, because that's when I will be in profit, but I also like green as a support level. So I don't want to confuse those. And then we have LB. We entered over 35. Stop is under 35.50, which will be 35.49, because we always move by 1 penny. We want to make sure we get in and out 1 penny around the whole number, because the way stocks react to whole numbers, you have the ask. Like Chris here in chat, he took a trade in Snapchat. Target was 29, which it finally hit 29, Chris. I hope you got out if you're keeping that target, but I expect this to go up to at least 29.20. Over here, it hit 28.99, and that happens because on your level 2, you have the ask at 29 and the bid at 28.99. So the last filled trade was at 28.99, and the ask never gets filled, even though it is testing that 29 whole number. So you always get in or out a cent, or a couple cents depending on the size of the spread around whole numbers. Let's head back over to LB to show you this trade. And then target, first target is 35.50. I'm going to put these at the whole numbers actually, just to make it cleaner visually based on support and resistance. So you can see that it's testing that support level, and then let's change this one to gold. Yep, I'm out. All right, good trade, Chris. I'm sure that was a little bit of a stressful one because you didn't get out at that last test of 29. You can see the crest of this handle on the cup and handle is acting as support now for these past 3 candles. That kind of verifies my entry there. Now this is another case where I would like to add, why do you get in snap at that level? Cup and handle. Here's the cup, here's the handle, and I believe this is going to break 29. And I would actually like to add another contract over 29 here, but I'm going to stick to the rule unless I change that rule. We'll keep the rule for a few days, see how it goes, and see if I need to change it or not. If I miss out on too many profits for not getting in that second contract. But this cup and handle formation is nice, testing the 29 whole number, and I believe this will go to at least 29.20. And I had a nice stop. This is a 2R trade, so it's an easy trade in my eyes. Let's head back to LB. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit. The option price is taking a big hit on this. You can see the spread is now 38 to 55, so we're actually taking a much bigger loss of $18 than we would like, even though we're still hovering around our entry, and that's just the nature of options. And that's why I didn't bother going through all of the maths of figuring out how much I should risk in terms of contracts and stops and all of that, because there's just too many factors in options. So I'm just doing one contract as a rule. Why get in at, you mean why not get in at high of day? Because I didn't like the stop at high of day. I think this is going to go to 29.20, and I wanted my stop to be 28.80 because of the low of this cup, or the low of this handle. And I didn't like my stop all the way up to 29. It's breaking here, and I know that it's going to break here. If it's going to hit 29.20, it doesn't matter if it breaks this level or 29. It's going to happen either way. If it's 29.20, it doesn't matter which entry I get in. So I'd rather get in a few cents earlier. Because you can see, even if it breaks 29 and doesn't hit 29.20, then I'm just missing out on more profits or taking a bigger loss. Does it make sense? Like, I don't know if it breaks the top of this handle that is going to hit 29.20, but I also don't know if it breaks the high of day that is going to hit 29.20. In both cases, 29.20 would be my target, because this is all-time high, and so I expect it to spike up at least 20 cents over the whole number, but it only spiked up 8 cents. We were playing around with our stop here, so I'm going to get ready to get out of my snap position. So we will take this, create closing order. I'm stuck with Apple. What do you mean stuck with Apple? What does that mean? You purchased Apple at a high price and you think you're stuck with it? Did you purchase it today or previously? Is this a day trade or a swing trade or a long-term investment? Okay, so you bought it today. You're stuck with it. Were you planning on day trading this? So Apple had a big red day. Looks like it wants to close its gap from, what was this, the 12th? I don't know what day that was. Down to 117. Chris just watching, okay. Looks like Apple wants to close this gap down to 117 before it does anything. That might be what's holding the market back a little bit. Is this sentiment in one of the bigger stocks of the S&P 500? Out of the gates, this U-shaped trade doesn't look too bad, but there was no gap up. It wasn't up that significant to merit a continued move up. So even though the candle formation was good, and it's a candle formation that I like, you could have even taken it on this reversal to get in at a little bit better. I mean, there is a trade here at this reversal over the high of this hammer candle at the bottom, stop under the low, target a high of day. You could have had at least a 1-to-1 trade there. Other than that, if you're taking the breakout, which would be an OBO trade here in this chat, opening breakout, you would take it over the high of this, which is 120.10, which is good because it's over the whole number of 120. But again, this is only up 0.2%, and I assume it was up like 0.5, 0.6%, something under 1% gap up when it opened. I forget exactly now. I wasn't looking at Apple because it didn't meet my requirements for a opening trade. And that's exactly why. You can see volume has pretty much faded away throughout the day. Looks like it's taking a resting day. Apple had a pretty wild week last week. Lots of swings up and down. Let's check in an LB, still hovering around our entry price. Snap. I don't think we're going to see another trade. Target 575. Yeah, that's what I was worried your target was, Chris. So you got out, right? Because it went up to 5. Wait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would have gotten out. ZM. So you got out. Please confirm that, so I don't get too upset. Just kidding, I won't get upset. So the issue with this, Chris, is you have a decent eye for this. I took it because I have a daily level on 5. Yeah, okay. That adds a little bit of confidence in my eyes, is having a daily level. So you have a very strong level here at 572. This is support out of the open, as well as resistance in this inverted head and shoulders. And I'm guessing you had your stop under this red candle, knowing you. And then your target is 575 because you have a daily level there and it's a whole number, so it makes sense. Nice round number. The issue here is you have this resistance on the intraday at 574, and you can see this didn't make a very strong move through 575, but it did hit it. These are close enough in this stock that if you have that explains it. If you have a daily level in 575, then I agree in taking this trade with 575 as the target, that as a stop. That all kind of makes sense, except if you're taking a daily target, you also need to consider daily support. So when you're using daily targets, does that make sense? So I'd say this is about a B quality trade. B quality because the setup isn't great. It's trending down throughout the day. So it's going to trend down most likely. Even though it's gapped up, even though it's up 1.72%, the trend is down. So you're trading against the trend on not that strong of a formation of these candlesticks. This, if you're arguing as a cup and handle, is not very clean. The handle is very small. It's the same size as these moves that are 2-3 candles in the move down of the cup. And the cup is more of a V shape than a U shape. You usually want a cup to be a U shape. It's actually pretty important in that formation. You could also argue this is an inverted head and shoulders right here, in which case you have a shoulder here. And that's good because it's an ascending inverted head and shoulders. You have the shoulder, this shoulder is higher than the first shoulder, but the neckline is descending. So you have this triangle formation in the head and shoulders, which could break up or down. It ended up breaking out, which is good in your favor, but you could see the sentiment is clearly down overall. So I'd say that's probably a B quality trade, which is worth taking a small size in, as you saw me do earlier on a slow day. But you got lucky in that one more than anything. Remove drawing. Looks like there's 2 here. Did I duplicate it? All right, let's check out LB really quick. It's just going sideways. So I might get out, even though the losses are bigger than I would like to. I'm going to get out of, well, I'm going to watch it a little bit more today. Again, because this level of 3450 is so strong. Looks like more like a flag for me. Oh, you're looking for a flag in Zoom. That's what I was pointing out. There's a little bit of a, so I don't know if there's 2 bigger formations. If you're looking at a flag, you have this channel that you could argue is a bit of a flag if you're looking at the pre-market charts, etc. Roughly like that. So you have that channel, and then you also look at this for a second. You have this channel that you're trading the breakout of. So if you have this, you have it break, you have it settle an entry level for you, pull back, and then take that entry. That trade is fine. That entry is fine. I see exactly what you see. That looks pretty decent. Maybe bump it up to an A- for you there. But there's still the factor that 574 was a strong intraday SR level, and you're asking for 575. And it just barely hit that 575. Went up to 576, yes, but in this stock, as you can see, a 1 point move is not significant. Space. Yeah, space is okay. I've been watching this one over the past few weeks since this big day up. It didn't spike up like I would have liked it to. Space can have some really big moves, as you can see from back here. So it's still just, honestly, I mean, you could draw a trend line. You could see it's above that line with this 20 test moving up, but it's still in this descending triangle situation. Hourly looks okay, 15-minute. We want to see a break of these 23, this 23 demand area with resistance at the high of pre-market as well. That's from the high of the previous day at 23.43. So I'd be interested over that level. Anything other than that, not really. So 23.43, even though it's not an intraday setup, that's based on the daily chart, the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour chart. Level around 23.30. I see 23.43 as a level. It's the pre-market high, and it's roughly high of day from yesterday, 23.40. As far as formation goes, Forex traders will draw some bunch of triangles and bat wings in here, but we're not going to trade Virgin Galactic like that. It's just not how it behaves. LB is still sideways pretty much, so you can see we're at a $21 loss, which is pretty big on this account. Our max loss is $50 for any single trade, which is a pretty big max loss for a small account, but I'm doing that just to give there's a little bit of room. With a small account challenge, if you're growing your own small account, it's tricky because the more money you lose, the harder it is to make back. And that matters even more so in a small account. However, you also need to take some risks to get it to a place that's meaningful in terms of growth, where smaller wins add up in the long run. Small wins, like a 1% win in a small account, would be $5 in this account, which isn't going to grow it significantly. Which is okay. If you have plenty of time to grow your account, take that time. I'm looking at like a 6-month time frame of growing this account to a reasonable level. There's level around 23.30-ish. Yeah, 23.43. Yeah, so let's add one more here, SPCE, so I can click and drag. You can see it's testing 23. We took 2 trades. One small loss in Snap, and then we're still holding LB for a little while. Can remove these levels in Snapchat. Remove, and remove. Then we have LB, which is still hovering into the lunch period. I'm just going to keep an eye on this one, because it is trending up into the lunch period, which I like. If it was going literally sideways, I wouldn't like that, but it is. Okay, wrote down that note. So the thing with a small account challenge, or if you're just trading a small account, I'm doing a challenge because it's a bit of a tag on social media, doing a small account challenge. You guys can follow it, follow along with my small account and how much I'm growing it, or how much it's losing. In the case of today, on the first day of the small account challenge. However, because it's a small account, you don't have the capital to make a bunch of money. So instead of the capital, let me switch here. Instead of the capital, you have to use time, because there's two things in a stock that's affecting what's going on in your account in terms of profit, losses, or what have you. You need to factor in your capital as well as your time. And in a trade, you have stock price and time. That's what a candlestick is it's the high and low, the open and the close of a stock per your time frame of the candle based on price. And as another example, in this small account challenge, I have a rule where I'm only getting in one option contract per trade. I might change that rule over time if I see that I'm being held back too much by this rule and I'm missing out on too many profits, where I could have added 2 contracts or added a second contract later on in a trade, because I know the trade is going to continue going up or down, whatever direction the trade is, if it's a call or a put. But because I don't have the capital to take 10 contracts or 100 contracts or 50 contracts and make a ton of money on a trade, I can only take 1 contract per trade, because that's the amount of capital that this account in the small account challenge allows me. I need to maximize my time. So in a trade like this in LB that we're looking at, normally, normally if a stock is going sideways into the lunch period, I will get out if I'm day trading the stock. But in this case, I'm considering a swing trade, or at least a longer time frame day trade. Instead of just a morning session, I'm considering the lunch session, power hour, closing session, all these different sessions that we went over. For those of you who have gone through the 0 to 1 trading course, we go over all these different sessions and the differences between them. Because the account is so small and I don't have the capital to maximize a small time frame, I need to use a little bit of capital over a longer period of time. So I'm considering holding this trade through the lunch session, because you can see it's still testing this resistance level that we bought the break of this morning, but it's still looking like it wants to break over it during the lunch session. You can see it's trending up. Let me bring you back over here to the chart. You can see it's still trending up. And because of that, because it's not just going sideways and it's still trending up, I like this chart for holding it for a longer period of time, not too long. I might not swing trade it, because the daily chart, I mean, it's gapping up, but it's just like a star floating in space. It's not too strong. There's not much going on except for our price target raise to 50 from 42, which is pretty decent. So this could be a longer term swing trade, like 2 weeks, but the stop is a little bit too tight for that, because I expect this to come down and close the gap to 34 within the next 2 weeks. So that's why I'm considering holding this, even though last week I explained that, or I had gotten out of trades, and I've explained to some of you in our mentorship sessions that I like to get out of trades that are going sideways heading into the lunch period. I'm not doing that with this one, because I'm trading a different capital size account, as well as this trend up is not just sideways. So there's a few factors that are leading to me holding this a little bit longer. And Trap King, to finalize the answer to your question, I think you've made great profit on that trade. If your target, based on technical analysis of the stock, is to close your spread at 240, then hold till 240. And you should also have a stop in place. But you shouldn't just be holding onto a trade with no idea where you want to get out, because then you're going to go through moments like right now where your spread is at 220, which is a magnificent profit if you bought it at 135, where you could sell that now and be happy with your profit and move on to the next trade, not worry about it. Does that answer your question? I hope. Snap looks like it's made a little bit of a move back up, which is fun. Big volume spike there on that second big green candle. Then we have LB still going sideways, but slightly trending up. I'm going to watch this through the lunch session to see what happens. If I see it start to reverse, let me pull a 5-minute chart on this bigger chart here. Zoom in. Yeah, we see these big 5-minute spikes. Looks like it wants to go up. It just hasn't broken this 35 level significantly. Chris took again Zoom long over 570.80. You all love Zoom. Over 570.80 down here. Okay, I would be on the 5-minute chart now. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, you're making good profits. Can you add more 570.60, excuse me. Can you have more details of what your stop and your target is? That'll help me analyze or see what your trade is, because this looks strong with this big hammer, this very long wick on this hammer. 568 looks like very strong support in this stock today, at least. So this break of 570 is not bad. Stop at 2.6. I'm assuming you mean $2. Look at this space, almost hit my alert for an entry. This is going to be a swing trade entry based on this. Out 573.20. Oh, so you just took straight up 1-to-1. You completely, I'm confused why you completely ignored your resistance levels that you had written down on your chart. You have 574 as intraday and 575 as a daily resistance level. Those should have been your targets. 573.20 is completely arbitrary. You can have a secondary stop at 573.20 once it breaks your 1-to-1 level. If it doesn't hit 574 as a target and it pulls back down, then you get out at 573.20. Otherwise, your target should have been a target. Next target, 575.80. Just watch it. Why is your target 575.80? You said the resistance is at 575. Not sure I'm going to break it. You have a strong daily resistance at 575, and then you have a wick going up to 576. I don't see 575.80 anywhere on this chart. Unless you're on a different time frame and you're looking at, no, even that is in 575. I don't see 575.80 anywhere. You might be trading off of the spread. That would make sense if your target, in which case I'd prefer if you answer that your target is 576, and I just assume that you're getting out at 575.80. Your target is always the whole number or the resistance level. And if you're getting out a few cents before that, that's just your exit price. That's just you managing your risk of a test of support and resistance, because it usually doesn't fill your order perfectly at the support and resistance level. But your target would still be 576, even if you get out at 575.80. In fact, just need 1R. Yeah, you already got 1R. That was your first partial, right? Your 1R was 573.20. You got, looks like there's some good news and some bad news headlines in this one. Overall, it seems like people's sentiment is it's a company that we would expect to, I don't know, it says it's fading at one analyst, but it doesn't look like it's fading to me. It's over its highs from before COVID pretty steadily, if I do say so myself. Might turn this into a swing trade with a stop under stop to let it test 34, although that might break my rule of, yeah, I can't do that because this option price, because the options are a little bit, well, it's at 60 cents, a little bit more expensive. That'll break my rule of a max loss of 10% if I let the stop go all the way down to 34. Yeah, and the rest of the market will decide it. Okay. Keep me updated on that trade, Chris. I'm going to end the stream here. I will keep my LB trade open for a little bit longer. I'll watch it. I'll update you guys tomorrow if you ask, or in the YouTube video about how this trade is doing. So today, as a recap, we had a trade. I took out the levels. We had a trade in Snap over a is earlier over this 1 minute cup and handle formation, very micro formation, but it was also based on this 29 resistance level that was going to be tested again. I wanted to get in a little bit early because I strongly believed it would actually break 29 the second time, which it did. It just didn't hit my 29.20 target. So we ended up getting stopped out on this big red move down. That was with let me type, with the market. It's a big red move down, same timing. Then we had LB. We got in this trade early in the morning. Very nice channel, very strong level of support here at 34.50 that I liked as a stop. Over 35, this one is slightly gapping up on the day, but it's had a very bullish previous month, 2 months, 3 months, 2 months. It's been pretty bullish since, of course, the drop in COVID, and even before that is pretty bullish. I mean, Limited Brands is doing okay as a business. So as expecting this to possibly have a green day on this gap up, but it's not. Previous gaps up have all, there's this gap up, this one, this one, this one. All the previous gaps, gap up situations have resulted in a green day. So I was expecting that out of this one as well today. Seeing a pretty big red move right now, actually. Very low volume though. That's why the option price is taking a bit of a hit. But we might let this one run a little bit longer. Still slightly bullish on the stock overall. We'll see. Watching it really closely. Volume is slightly increasing on the 5 minute on these red candles, which means some people are getting out at 35. It's still a strong, I mean, you can see it's still today. We're just stuck in this channel between 34.50 and 35, which is our trade price. And we're looking for a break up to 35.50, which we tried earlier, hit 35.41, didn't quite hit 35.50. You can't guess that it's going to hit 35.41. You also can't guess that in the same minute it's going to come back down just seconds later. So you have to set a target. 35.50 didn't hit our target. Might get stopped out again in this one. It's been a slow day. That's okay. Sucks that that's the first day of the small account challenge, but it is what it is. You can't control the market. Those are the updates. If you are just joining in today, and this is your first time in the stream, Trap King, Purified Water, thank you for joining today. Please make sure to follow. I'm streaming my live trading every single day this week, and the weeks to come, I'm going to be streaming the small account challenge. I'll be teaching about stock trading, beginner options trading if you want to learn about options. In general, just how to grow a small account. So if you are interested in that, then please make sure to follow. That way you don't miss a stream. You're also notified when I go live. And other than that, thank you for joining in. If you missed anything or you are bored and want to watch more trading content, watch the VODs, the videos on demand on Twitch of my previous streams from last week. I streamed all week last week, my live trading. So you can go and watch those and watch some more trading content. If you are wanting to keep learning, there's some good lessons in those VODs as well. And from that, I got nothing else for you. I'm just going to keep watching this LB trade channel between 34.50 and 35. Probably let us stop out. If it goes down, take the loss and it's going to suck, but that's all right. That's trading. We'll make it back later this week. So thank you for watching. Again, if you haven't followed already, please follow. It helps me, but it also helps you be notified when my trades are live. It helps me because it helps me reach more people with the way that I'm helping and teaching stock trading and options trading. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.